Here we go. So, we rejoin the next morning. Torek, you'll be up first, along with Radik. Not Radik, what's his name now? Batu.
Tabatu Sasula.
Yeah, I can't say that.
Tabatu Sasula.
I watched that video. Nigerian film thing.
Yeah. Rawab Production.
So, feel free, you can wake the others up or do what you like.
Tabatu
Sneak
Sasula
over.
is going to wake up Rambler and demand his morning treat.
Fair enough. Torek, what would you like to do?
On a sneak and
Okay, make a stealth
Minstrel.
check, and Minstrel, I'll need your passive perception.
10.
10. Okay, this might be quite easy for you.
20.
How is it 10?
Well, I've never adjusted it. Is it meant to ever go up?
What's your wisdom score?
10.
12.
10.
10. No, then 10 is correct for your passive.
It's your wisdom
it should
modifier
be.
on top, isn't it? And then something
Yeah,
else.
your wisdom modifier gets added to it.
Should be 11, shouldn't it? Because of his proficiency bonus went up.
No, proficiency doesn't apply to passive.
Oh.
That's why that ring was quite powerful. 14. You feel pretty stealthy.
Cloak, I want to try and put the mask on his face, though.
Okay,
Wonder if
then make
you-
a sleight of hand check for me.
I mean, all I have to do is slam it down, but
Well, do you want to do it forcefully? I'll make it an athletics check.
I think they're both the same for me. Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, stealth's better. Only just.
Fair enough. 7. Given he's asleep, you've managed to sneak over to him. I'm still going to say you managed to connect, but you have woken him up as you've done it.
What's happening?
I
I'm about to send it to you. Bear with me.
I fell over you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Tarek,
The mask fell on your face.
are you here to
Don't say anything for a few seconds. I'm just going to...
I pull back the covers and invite Tarek into bed with me.
I'll recoil in horror. Stumble to the back of the room. Away, foul pervert.
Oh, I'm ever so
There we
sorry,
go.
Tarek. I've got the wrong idea here.
Message gone through to you. The mask is now melted as it's spread onto your skin. As it now forms a second skin over the top of yours. You're now functionally in blackface, unfortunately.
Oh. I say to Minstrel, are you all right there, young man?
How do you feel?
Fuck off, you Dragonborn prick.
I'm
Ah,
not Dragonborn.
perfectly normal.
Half man, fetch me a wine.
Then
Anyone?
short
No,
stuff. Yeah, it's talking to you.
Minstrel, Rambler does not realise you're talking about him.
Okay.
This, to be fair, explains a lot about Tarek.
Yep.
Some of it. Yeah.
Ever since he got the mask, it explains a hell of a lot.
Nobody knew who I was till I put on the mask.
Well, perhaps we should all head down. Are we in? Is this the Adventurers Guild?
You're in your room on the first floor. It's one of the smaller rooms. You assume larger ones on the higher floor is given to higher ranked members.
I've never been here before. I don't know where to go, Minstrel.
Well, considering you've just bloody woken me up, I suppose we best get some chow and I don't know, go speak to that prick about our failed job.
Sounds like a good plan.
Sounds like a plan. Yes.
My face itches.
Yeah.
Sorry, I like that.
You get used to it.
Oh, I should have made a cursed item that gives someone a constant itch.
Yeah.
So don't.
Oh dear. Anyway, so going to get breakfast, what are we going to do? Eat rations, or do you want to head to a nearby establishment?
Probably.
I'm already eating rations.
You're already eating rations. Fair
Show
enough.
my
Well, okay, I'll wait for now and then maybe go to the inn on the way out.
I'm having a ration.
Fair enough. Okay, so Torek, you're still hungry.
Hmm.
So where are we going to next? Minstrel, I believe you said you want to go speak to Jarek Ironback,
Oh, yes.
the
Oh,
current guildmaster.
fuck. Yeah. Yeah, I want to speak to the guildmaster.
Okay. So you approach the desk. The regular day clerk is on. Stephanie.
Is that the pretty young girl?
That is the pretty young girl who runs the day desk.
Oi, oi, sexy. How about blowjob then?
Hello, Minstrel.
Ramblers
It's been a while. I thought you were dead. I was hoping, in fact.
No, live and well. No, thanks to you bastards.
Oh, I see. Shall I be? Are you accepting another quest, or do you have other business first?
Now we ballsed one up, didn't we? So we're here to I don't know.
Can I
Get
just
our
say
rap
the
on the
Cockney
knuckles?
accent is not part of the curse?
You can speak
Oh,
any
come on.
language now. So.
He can't speak in any language, and he speaks Cockney.
Thing is, when you say I have to be a dick, all I can think of is Cockneys.
Sounds quite
I
Essex.
didn't say you have to be a dick. I said you can't say anything nice.
Yeah.
If you want to be a dick, you can just
Friendly.
use your Essex accent.
You can be
It's fine.
neutral. You can't be nice.
Friendly.
Oh, so I don't have to be mean.
You don't have to be mean. You just can't be nice in any
Okay,
way.
retcon everything I've said in the last 5 minutes.
No,
Oh.
we're going with it. We're carrying on.
Oh,
You
no.
solved it up with the Adventurers Guild.
But
Clark.
you have to say. You can't be friendly though. So everything you say still has to be harsh, but not. You don't have to insult people. I think.
As I say, you don't have to be actively a dick.
Sure, you
Whatever.
can be
You can.
You can, yeah. It's completely free.
No, don't care. It's fine.
Anyway, so then, well then, I suppose you'll be wishing to meet with Jarek. He'll be in his office if you'd like to make your way up there.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Okay.
That again.
Stephanie is going to say, well then, since you're reporting on a failure, I suppose you'll be needing to speak with Jarek. He'll be up in his office if you want to make your way there. You've been there before.
That's quite right. Thank you very much. I suppose.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
That's being nice. That's a politeness.
no.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
It's hard to work out. It's
Thank
more,
you.
I'll do that then.
I don't know.
I will do that then.
That's neutral.
I take my leave.
Okay.
I'll take leave.
Okay, so you find your way to Jarek's office, and I assume knock on the door instead of just barging in?
Bargin.
Barge in?
Well,
Okay.
Yeah, I have to barge in. I can't knock because that's polite.
Yep, fair enough. So, Minstrel, you barge straight into the
Oh
office.
no, I can knock because that's not saying anything.
I was going to say, that's an action, that's not...
Forcefully.
Yeah. Again, that's not speaking, he doesn't have to...
Hmm.
It's only speech he can't say anything nice, or be
Can't
pleasant.
Yeah.
So, you knock on the door, and after a few brief moments, Jarek calls, come in?
I go in.
Okay.
I also enter.
Then I'll
I would like
stupidly
to.
follow.
You can ask me to roll if you'd like, but is there any meat in the room?
There's not. He's got some fruit on the desk.
Oof. Okay.
Fair enough. Jarek is sitting behind his desk, currently with a slab of ice over one of his eyes.
I walk straight up to a desk and I say to him, "We failed the job."
I heard your ship went down on transport.
Yeah, there was some weird kind of nature-based anomaly, and the whole sea just turned into a garden of flowers, and they caught alight. And yeah, we barely survived.
Well, I see your party has once again changed.
Yeah, I don't know who this Dragonborn guy is. He just keeps following us. I don't really like him.
Dare you?
Well, then, I suppose you wouldn't be wanting to offer him an invitation to the Adventurers Guild.
No.
Okay. Well, then, young Dragonborn, you would have to pay the entrance fee like all normal members. It'll be 20 gold pieces if you wish to join us.
Rambler says that. Oh, sorry, Minstrel's just being silly. I'll speak for him. I'll vouch for him.
Very well, then, as he takes out an Adventurers Guild badge for Torek.
Thank you.
I say to Rambler in Halfling, is that a language?
Halflings do... I don't remember if they have a language. I will double check for you.
They do.
They do.
I
fair
say
enough.
to in Halfling, I might just spend the rest of my life speaking foreign languages.
Fair enough.
I repeat back in Halfling. What on earth are you on about, young man?
I'm cursed.
Cursed? Is it that thing on your face?
I can't say anything.
No,
No.
Not
I'm gonna
not
turn
mean.
to Jorik. I'm gonna say, oh, not mean. I'm gonna turn to Jorik and say, do you know anything about lifting curses?
Derek, for one.
There.
Derek.
Yeah, close. You kept calling him Derek for quite a while.
Derek, okay.
But at the same time, he's going to say, well, your best bet is to find a religious group. They normally have a way to do it. However, for the
Fuck's
time being, the penalty for failing a quest, you will owe the guild a single quest of our choosing, as well as 500 gold pieces, the fee for the quest you failed.
Very good. Obviously, we can't pay you now. We'll need to earn the money from our next quest.
Very well, it shall be deducted from your next earnings. Oh, and Minstrel. In regards to the matter we discussed before, we've had sightings of a large Naga over the mountains towards Eshen.
Racist.
I see. Well, perhaps you should send someone capable of dispatching said Naga.
Well, I believe this was the creature hunting you. However, we did manage to arrange a job in Eshen for you, should you wish to have transport there. So you could deal with it and then come back.
Right, you are. Well, I'm not too concerned about this Naga business anyway. He's a puff.
I see. I see. Well, his proclivities aside, I shall make sure to take a note against your earnings for the future. Is there anything else you would like to discuss?
Yes. Could you lend me some money?
I am afraid not. Should you wish to earn it, there is plenty of jobs out on the board.
And I will raise my hand.
By the way, did sorry, just quickly, did the dog succeed?
No, I did. Jarek sees him.
Okay.
I was not part of
Oh,
the
yeah,
Adventurers Guild during this failure. Does that penalty still apply to me?
Of course not. I assumed you joined after they were returning from the quest.
Much after. I didn't know anything about it.
I see. Then yes, of course, your gold will not be penalised. It shall be split between the good elf and the halfling. Sorry, I stuttered over my words and couldn't get the words out.
Okay.
Trying to
You
think of-
okay, sir? You appear to have a stutter.
It's the ice on my eye. I'm still nursing some wounds from the beast brawl yesterday.
I see. Did you win? No, of course you didn't. Sorry, silly question.
No, I'll say I could not hit that squirmy little bastard.
Well, we shan't keep you any longer. We've got a what was it we had to do again?
I forgot to mention. Merrick has left the party. Merrick is no longer. He has abandoned the guild and has no interest in continuing anymore. He's seeking a supposed holy life.
I see. Well, I shall
Sorry.
keep him on the record, should he wish to return. However, I shall suspend his membership privileges for the time being.
And the old lady is otherwise indisposed.
I see. are we expecting a return from her, or?
Oh, yes, of course. Just not for a little while.
I don't know. She's mightily suspicious. She has been behaving oddly for some time.
I see. Very well. Oh, and
You
There was
keep
a-
saying icy, but what is icy? Is it? Are
there's
you
a
nursing
block
your
of ice
wounds?
on my eye.
Nice.
Anyway, yes, I shall put her on suspension for the time being as well, then. Oh, and by the way, a new store has opened in town.
Oh, no.
You may wish to stop by.
What store is this? It's not a magical curio store, is it?
Why, how on earth would you know that?
Well, you as the guild master should be aware that this store we have come across it many times in our travels. The owner is able to pack the store away magically and move around various cities.
I see. The
Jeez.
powerful wizard
I
as
suspect
well
he's
as a-
avoiding tax. Previously, yeah, well, here comes a kicker. I have myself performed some magical inspection of him while in his presence, and he seems to have the power of a deity. So I don't know if he's good or bad, but he's always around when there's trouble.
Mhm.
I
So
see.
be careful.
Well, I shall keep an eye out for him. And I shall warn any other guild members against visiting his shop.
And I'm fairly sure he drugged our comrade Doris.
Sounds like
I
the kind of
see.
guy I want to meet.
One day she spent 24 hours in his house asleep. I find that very suspicious. I do not trust that man, and neither should you.
I see. Well, I shall warn the other members against going in, as I said, and have you seen Doris since this event?
Yeah, she's decided to she now lives with the fishes.
I see. This sounds like you killed her and have mafia connection.
What's a mafia?
There are mafias.
Terminology.
Alright, Thieves Guild connection.
What was that?
Alright, Thieves Guild connections. I'll retcon the mafia.
No, she quite simply is living with a clan of fish people.
Interesting.
Cool.
So
Tell her.
she may not be joining us on our adventurers guilds in some times. However, I would like to what's the word?
Have a
Put
word.
forward that she herself should also be subject to this fine for failing the quest, as she was party to it.
Yes, divide it evenly by the three of us.
500 divided by 3. Not an easy sum, but since you two are...
I'm sure
Yeah.
a clever man like you can work it out. By the way, is sarcasm considered nice? Can I say something nice but sarcastically?
You
Yes,
do
I
it
suppose,
again.
technically.
Yeah, it wouldn't seem nice because it's sarcastic.
Yeah, 'cause it's sarcastic.
No, of course it wouldn't.
Okay, he's going to say,
Like that.
very well then, 170 gold fine each.
Can
Wait,
I barter you down to 130?
Make a persuasion roll.
Can I help him with this? I'd like to help.
Sure, you can try and assist by saying something nice, which he can't.
I mean, I'll roll my persuasion as well as an assist.
Don't
I was
you
going
get
to say
both?
with disadvantage, but I won't bother.
Oh yeah, I've got advantage, don't I? Or do I?
No, you lose the advantage because of the mask. Since you can't be nice in persuading people. And with an 11, he says,
What's the good thing that the mask does? Oh, unless you speak all languages.
yeah. Well, 130 no, but I suppose it would only be reasonable to split it between Merrick as well, now that I think of it. So 125 each.
Right, I will pay my fine right now, please. And
Very
I have,
good.
Some cash money. 125.
125 gold pieces.
38. 18818. 818.
And you said
Now, Darren, about
I was going to turn to Minstrel and see if he's going to pay now or later.
is Minstrel going to pay now or later?
1 second.
Later.
Okay.
I'm going to hand him 135 gold and say to him, looking him straight in the eyes, here's another 10 gold to buy yourself something pretty.
He's going to give you a very worried look.
He
And
should be
Cup his
quite
balls.
sarcastically.
Cup his balls.
He's sitting behind a desk. You'd have to reach over the desk to
I
catch
climb on the desk.
So, Darren, what was this thing you wanted us to do that you said was near the Snake Man?
Oh, a job has come available in Eschen. The village, the head of the village defense squad has asked for some assistance for his son for his first solo hunt. There would be pay, obviously, as well as the head of the village head of the village defense squad has decided he would take you to the Naga himself. He is a master tracker.
Well, I'm a master tracker. I'm sure I could find him. Is this Naga a monster or a robot?
Did you say Naga?
Yes, it's a Naga.
This
They
doesn't
are
have to be
meant
the same Naga, does it?
This would be the. We believe this is the Naga you were looking for. It's been described as very large.
One dead head?
It has one head.
Okay. Rambler, this is the Naga who attacked us with those mind-controlled elves the other day, week, month, year.
About a week ago.
My word, we don't have too much to fear from him then. Those elves were nothing.
It was quite lucrative being attacked by those elves, actually.
Yeah,
Right,
to be fair.
so, Mr. Jarek, where is Eschen?
Eschen, it's over the far east of the continent, past the Eastern Range Mountain.
Oh, Eschen.
Yes.
I expect you'll be expecting us to go by Bert then, Bert.
No, we have managed to arrange a slightly faster mode of transportation for you, but it'll only get you as far as Lark's Ridge.
I see, and this transportation would be?
Oh, we've acquired a wizard to teleport you most of the way.
That's
Yeah,
all right. I
but-
can teleport myself.
He has a teleportation circle set up for Lark Ridge.
Perhaps he could come with us and help defeat this snake god.
Combat is not his specialty. You'll understand when you meet him, should you decide to go.
I see. Is he a woman?
He is. He is not.
Okay, well, thank you for the information on the Naga. I would argue, perhaps Rambler and Torek, we should wait until Doris has rejoined us. I wouldn't want her to miss all the fun, I say sarcastically.
Well, how long is Doris going to be? I thought
Don't
she'd
know
be
where
down
she's
there
gonna be.
months.
She could be there potentially forever.
We
That
don't know
is
if
a-
she's coming back.
She's being kept there because they don't want to be without a god protector.
I see. I say to the voice in my head. Or perhaps we should just go there and cut his head off and just get it over and done with.
Yeah.
Done it
I
once
agree
before.
there.
Well, we
He's
can
a
do the
monster, if
quest
he's a
over there too.
If he's a monster, I'll slay him in one fell swoop, I think is the word I'm trying to say.
One fell swoop is the correct thing. If
Ein fell swoop.
fair enough.
Sure,
Ein
you would.
swoop.
Very well. Would you like me to introduce you to the magician today, or do you have other business to attend to?
Well, this wizard, can he do curses?
He's not so great at lifting curses. He specializes in transportation magic. It's why we've retained him.
I see.
He sounds incredibly useful.
Well, you'd be surprised how often it is helpful to be able to get from one side of the continent to the other in seconds.
As also a master of the arcane, I would like to meet him.
You may
Now-
regret that decision.
We could always go ourselves. We do have our own means of teleportation, you see. We could teleport to somewhere.
If this is tied to a contract, got time.
This contract is a little more open-ended than the others you've previously engaged in.
What
The
sort of-
boys' hunt can be done any time in the next year.
Minstrel, in your book, are there any towns near Eschen that we could teleport to?
It's a very good question. Let me just refer to the voice in my head. Right.
Looking at the list of places you can go, the nearest you would get is to Rajor.
Well, Rajoristan.
Yes. Over in the southeast, just above Welch's Oasis and Mount Udu.
Well, perhaps we should let
Alright.
this wizard transport us.
I mean, it could be fun going to Rajor. It's a completely different place. I don't mind.
Right. One for Rajor. Minstrel,
What? Yes, Rambler.
oh, sorry, you throw me off there. I don't normally used to take this kind of abuse from you. Do you want to go to Rajor and walk?
I want to say I'm sorry, but I'm cursed, so I should get away with this.
Oh dear. That just sounds like an excuse to me.
I think we should put off fighting Minaga for as long as possible. So I do believe a nice stroll might change my mood somewhat. And also, as much as it pains me to say it, I do believe I might need a fucking holy man.
Fair enough.
Well, let's go to the church. The churches.
Derek is going to sit up from behind this and say, you may struggle to find many holy men in this city. There's a few odd ones about, but due to it being the home of democracy on the continent, apparently, we're mostly secular around here.
I also want to go to the Alchemist. I did promise to go there.
Very well. Oh,
Good,
was there
check.
anything else you wanted to discuss?
Yes. Well, actually, no.
Minstrel, you had one thing to discuss about with your painting, I believe.
Oh, I can't help but notice the painting that was delivered to my room was not quite what I ordered.
Yes. Unfortunately, the artist was uncomfortable with the subject matter you described, so I made a suggestion. And as we occasionally show children around the guild, I thought it would be best not to have a horrifying picture hanging in one of the rooms.
Hold on one good hot second there, sir. Are you implying, because I was going to hang this portrait up in my room, are you implying you allow children into my room?
Yes, the children are allowed to look around the lower floors.
Do you
We
realise
obviously supervise them.
this young dragonborn with us has to be within 500 meters of a child at any one time due to his criminal history?
To be, or
Have to be within that distance.
You have to be.
Not within.
I don't like
Well, to be fair, we didn't know he was coming. And if this is the case, we shall have to make sure our younger
Yeah.
members do not show up
Now,
too often.
I cut him off. I interrupt him completely. Now, I will have to say, I do believe under the Consumer Goods Act, if the item I have received is not as specified, I should receive compensation.
Does
You
that
should have
exist?
consulted me and told me that there may need to be adjustments made, and we could have worked through this, but you have gone behind my back and made decisions about my service without informing me.
Yes. Well, I suppose I could refund a quarter of the a fifth of the value to you, as it's 80%, I'd say, of what you asked for, with one change.
I would actually argue the change you have made is the primary focus of the art piece I had commissioned.
So the primary focus was the pile of corpses, not your friend.
No,
You have a dark taste in art.
my friend was a mighty conqueror, and you have besmirched his name by making him look like some Piccaninny halfling who is just climbing up a bloody Mount Doom or some shit. You know, it's not on. He was a conqueror. He was a warrior.
Very well. I shall return the painting to the artist and say you are not satisfied with it.
Piccaninny. What the fuck?
It's a hell of a word.
Do you know what it means?
I'm not entirely sure. I have a rough idea.
It's like a slave word. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
During all this going on, Rambler goes up to Torek and says, "Sausages?"
Rambler? Why is Rambler talking like the dog?
Sebastian goes up to Torek and says, "Sausages?"
Shoo. Get away.
Oh, he puts his head down and walks away.
Yes, I suppose I could return it to the artist and say you were not satisfied.
And what would the outcome of that be? I would be money down and a painting down. Would he rework or
he could attempt to repaint over the top of it, or equally I could try and arrange for a refund, at least for the cost of the materials, if not his time.
sounds suitable?
I see. Very well, I shall take it back myself when I get a chance.
No, now. I'm not going to say that. Sorry.
Right.
Oh,
Right. Well, first a holy magic man, then a holy magic man who can make a hole for us. We can walk through it to the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Rambler.
Technology. Yes, but it's true.
And I'm going to strain saying this because I can't be too nice. Maybe when we see the holy man, we should show him all of the curse items we possess, not just this poxy mask.
Cursed
For
items.
example, the teleportation book is cursed.
I see. Well, you think that's a curse? I just think it's a nice bit of practice.
So it's just a
Those
feature.
bloody hooligans were nothing. We could probably use that as a some form of a trap. I was thinking of his trapping ways.
Fair enough.
He's only ever trapped something once.
I
and
agree
it was
with that.
Boris.
I hand Bartu a salted fish.
Oh, Batu takes out a platinum piece from his pack and gives it to you.
Jesus, that's 10 gold.
Yeah.
He doesn't really understand.
That's a fair point. He is a dog. Or a wolf, even so. But
He also doesn't understand that it's not his money, it's Rambler's money.
fair. Right. So with that, we'll assume you're going to head out the office, having bid farewell to Jarek.
Except I won't bid farewell. I'll just
You
walk
shall
out.
bid farewell.
Bye now, Jonathan.
Bye, Jarek. So
Oh,
long.
Someone
good
finally
friend.
gets his fucking name right. Anyway. Sorry, it's been like the entire campaign, no one's got his name right.
Poor
I
old
win.
Derek.
Oh dear. Anyway, so back out to the Adventurers Guild lobby you go. You've got the board there, or you can head out into the city.
I want to pick up that one.
I'm
for-
going to beeline for the Alchemist Guild.
The Alchemist store.
Yeah, store, not guild.
Okay, so as you begin heading off into the town, who's going with him? Who's going to stay and look for something else?
I was going to pick up the one for the Eshen place.
The quest for Eshen is one you'd speak to Jarek about accepting, not one you'd.
I'm
So
going
it's,
to have a
not,
quick.
it's not an adventurous quest.
It's not on the board. He's arranged the job specially for you.
I'm going to have a quick glance over to see if there's anything in Raja.
In Rajor. Let's
In
have a
Raja
look for you.
Or in
I'll have a look, yeah.
Raja or Larkridge or the Eshen Forests or the Eastern Range.
Well, anywhere over the eastern side would be quite nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
fair.
I mean, that's one way of putting it. I prefer to read out every individual place.
Well, we can go up north and see the elves.
Ah, yes, the elves are good friends of mine.
Uh,
Good friends. I'll be going
looking-
back to them one day.
looking over all the quests, there's an expedition to the top of Spire Mountain, right in the center of the continent. There's where's that again? Wave Meat is that's closer.
Didn't something happen to Wave Meat? Didn't we do something to Wave Meat?
No, we got a boat from there. Well, Merrick and
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, and it was that.
There's a notice for Silverkeep
Oh, yes.
for joining the resistance.
Savlaki.
Silverkeep.
That's
quite far.
Pretty close.
That's
That's
near.
the furthest east I've got for you.
Mm. I mean,
Right,
I'd be interested
well,
in reading that and seeing
okay.
what it's about.
I'm going to
don't
peer
think
over his
I've
shoulder.
Over it, I'm like 7'5".
I'm going to
What was
peer
I? Round.
in between his legs.
There we go. That is the
I'll
quest
pick up.
for Silverkeep.
I'll pick up Rambler so you can see
Oh, thank you, young man.
under one arm.
Oh, ow. Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
It's a 3-star quest as you look. The reward is a cut of the spoils from joining the resistance.
Does sort of pique my interest.
Vive la résistance.
They're not French.
So you fancy yourself a freedom fighter, do you, young Torek?
Oh well, for the right money, any kind of fighter.
Yeah, well, I don't know how rich those people are down south. They
Hmm.
all a bunch of
But not a good one.
Boils.
Sorry? Someone just shouted, but not a good one for no reason.
Torek said for the right sum of money, he'd be any kind of fighter. And I said, but not a good one.
I see. My apologies. That was a slight delay between that.
Yeah, I was getting a beer.
Fair enough.
I thought you were at the Alchemists.
We're
Yeah.
coming to him in a minute.
Oh,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
money, I'd fight for the gods
Rambler,
themselves.
which way would you went from? You've never actually been over to Rajor yet, have you?
Yeah, I was part of the guild.
Yeah,
Wasn't
you
that
joined
related
the
to-
chef, the one of the many guilds which exist there.
Yeah.
So I suppose you went north to the forest, so you wouldn't have been past Silverkeep. But you may have heard rumours. Make a history check for me.
I mean, I don't have a big
history
backstory for
check.
Torek, but he has been all over the continent.
Do you know what would be
places.
good? Is if you could write, instead of writing like -1 for history, you write 1d20 -1, then you just copy it.
Yes.
I might see if I can do that.
6. You remember hearing that it's currently led by some form of sultan, who you can't remember anything else about.
Oh, that's all desert there, is it?
That is the desert band before you
That
get to the
explains why
wasteland
it's
band.
yellow.
That's
Yes,
why.
well, I remember the southern lands. Actually, yeah. I guess I don't know if he's rich then.
You assume you could make the assumption a sultan might be rich.
I've
But-
always wanted to visit the exotic lands of the east and the peoples of the east, so I say we go off to Silverkeep.
I would very much like to make friends with a sultan.
Yes, friends with the Sultana.
That
Yes,
could be very
You do realise you're
I do-
joining a resistance group, which probably means trying to overthrow him. If you want to take that quest.
Well,
Well, we can
any quest
install
that's going
our
to
own
get me over
soul.
there, I'm fine with. Yeah,
Fair enough.
I'll see what side I want to pick when I get there.
Right now, I suppose we ought to catch up with Minstrel. He said
Fair
he was off to the Alchemists Guild, so
Rambler, you'd remember where that was because you have your special never getting lost thing.
Yeah.
But Minstrel, you can probably remember from last night, so
I'll put
I'll
Rambler
let you
down
head there
and
now.
follow him.
So, Minstrel, as you arrive at the Alchemist's door, Iridal folk, you once again see the sign on Daniel Crux' house stating Alchemist of Legend. As you, I assume, are going to knock.
Yeah, can I check my wristwatch to see what the time is?
You've been chatting with Jarek for about an hour. It's a little before midday.
Okay, I'm going to stand there until it is past midday.
Okay, in that case, Rambler and Torek are going to catch up with you whilst you're waiting, and as they rejoin.
Greetings, minstrel. What are you doing loitering around here? Don't you see the sign says no lollygagging?
Well, I've come here. I've got some goods to sell. But I recall the gentleman said last night they don't open till midday. So I'm sucking my thumb, I guess.
Don't open till midday, eh? Those lazy bastards.
That's exactly what I thought.
Bloody atheists.
Yes. At which point, Daniel Crook is going to open the door and say, "I've seen you standing there for 10 minutes. Come in. I know you're early."
I walk in.
As he sits down and says, "Yes. So, what business did you have, sir?"
Well, it's nothing major, I suppose, but I would like to sell you 4 diamonds. What will you offer me?
He begins looking at the diamonds. I did tell you the value of them. Do you remember what it was?
It's 100.
100.
100 gold. 4 large diamonds, I suppose. I could give you 80 gold for them. Crushed into dust, they'd make excellent decursing potions.
Now. Good sir. I know for a fact these diamonds are worth, by my eye, 110. I could easily get 150 for these.
Make a persuasion roll with disadvantage. Oh no, you're being arrogant with the persuasion. Stick with your normal. $20. Okay. Very well. 110, but not a cent more. Not a copper more.
I nod at him.
And was there anything else you were hoping to sell or buy?
Can you tell me how much that was in total you've just handed me?
440.
The total value of all the diamonds was 110.
Oh, all of them.
What?
Yeah, it was 100 gold's worth of diamonds you had.
Oh, how much are they worth then per diamond?
Are you sure about that? Because I've got 1 diamond
25.
worth 100 gold.
Yeah, one diamond worth 100 gold would be quite large.
I'm taking the diamonds back.
Okay, no worries. Hang on, which diamonds are these? Are these the ones you got in the dungeon recently, or are these the ones you have from a while ago?
In the dungeon recently, I think, weren't they, Ozzy?
Yeah, I gave you 100. I gave you a total of 100 gold's worth of diamonds.
I'm not sure about that because
Yeah,
I'm going to go back and double check the notes because I've got it written down.
Not all diamonds are the same price. They're
perhaps we
different
should
sizes.
put off selling these diamonds for now. When the god has checked what they're actually worth.
I'm going to double check, but
these are currently worth less than.
although I gave you 600 gold's worth of diamonds.
That's more
why
like.
that's right. So he'd be trying to buy the entire lot if you were putting them out for 600 gold.
Yeah, it's not the entire lot though because I've only got 4 of them. So
Okay,
trying to
600
work
gold.
out to 100.
you've got 4, so it would be 400 gold if they're worth 100 each. If they were split in the bag.
So did my check pass trying to
So
open?
440 he'd be offering you for those diamonds.
I will proceed with sale.
Okay. Sorry, my apologies.
Those things can come in handy for casting spells, don't you, young minstrel?
I look at him and go, I don't use regents for spells. What's wrong with you?
And if it's a ritual,
At which point I say, and was there anything else anyone was wanting to sell?
I've got nothing.
a
No,
rubbish
can you buy
bag.
jewellery and shit?
Jewelry, no, but this is where you were recommended to go for your basilisk components.
Oh, right. Oh, what about these, Mr. Barry? I got basilisk hide and a basilisk eye.
Well, the eyes are by far more valuable. I could go as high as 100 gold apiece on them. However, the hide, the scales would be helpful for potions to unpetrify folk.
But
It doesn't
you
come
see,
up too often around here.
This is a special basilisk hide. If you would like to inspect it, sir, and as I hand it over to him, I cast Druidcraft on it to make it sound like a basilisk.
I see. You have a hissing hide.
Yes, I believe it's got magical properties.
I interject and say, that's worth at least 300 gold.
You'd probably be better off having this made into armor than selling it to someone who's going to take it to pieces.
Well, all the same, what would you offer me?
I have no idea if the magic would have an effect on the potions, or if it would be positive or negative. I suppose I'd be willing to risk up to 150 gold for it.
So that's 250 for the magical hide and the eye.
Yes.
Well, you've got yourself a deal, sir.
Very good, as he hands you the gold and takes the items.
Okay.
Anything else anyone wants to sell?
I've got nothing.
Or ask about buying anything while we're here?
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
You may have noticed I have been very brief in conversing with you today. I have recently been cursed. Is there anyone in this city who can dispel a curse?
Well, I may have a potion that would do it. But it would not come cheap, I'm afraid.
How much we talking, boy?
Were you hoping to remove the curse from the item, or just remove the cursed item from yourself?
Well, ideally, considering I believe I can just take this mask off.
You cannot.
How did Matt take his off?
I went
He went and found some weirdos who managed to perform a holy ritual.
Well, I'd rather be able to keep it on, though it is ruining my good looks.
I see.
However, I would be prepared, if it was substantially cheaper, just to remove it.
Well, to remove the item, the potion, or salve, I should specify in this case, would be approximately 200 gold. However, the reagent bath required to lift the curse entirely would be closer to 1,000 to maybe 1,500, depending on the size of the item.
Well, the item is on my face at present.
Yeah. Would we have to encase your entire head to make this work, or would it simply be your face? How far back does the mask go?
I want to grasp and try and have a feel.
It goes back to your ears, so you'd probably have to dunk pretty much your entire head. So
What say you, Rambler?
1,500 gold.
I'd say to be able to let us speak to everything that we ever meet, it's probably worth it. How much money you got?
I have just about enough for this. It will leave me penniless once more, nearly, but
we can get him to 1,000 gold. I'll happily go 3 ways with you.
Oh, I do know of some people that could help you.
Well,
considerably cheaper.
I think this is the work required by professionals. Not
I would like to
back out of your halls.
They charge 50 gold.
I'd like to address
that was
the
just to remove it, and there was a chance it might have failed, to be fair.
I would like to
Yeah, I know, but he doesn't know that, so
fair.
Address the alchemist and say, excuse me, sir, would you mind if I conversed with my colleague for a moment?
Of course, please. Take your time, as he yawns loudly.
I take Minstrel to the back of the room, and in Halfling, I say, do you know what? I've never tricked anybody for their personal wealth before in my life. But I just did it after seeing you do it so many times, and by God, I loved it. Perhaps your way of life is so undesirable. Why don't we try and trick him to get the mask off? There must be
what they're
something
doing is someone
do.
go speak to the shop man.
Okay. So you're going to chat with Daniel at the counter while they're having a chat.
Yeah, I'm going to try and persuade him that they're trying to trick him.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't know that we're doing that.
Yeah, you don't speak half.
Yeah, but I know what you've already spoken about. Trying to get the price up. I'm just going based on that.
Are you now? Sounds a little bit suspicious.
That might even
So,
work.
what would you like, young Dragonborn? The scaly folk shall have a chat while the fleshies talk by the window.
You know,
He's a tiefling. Yeah, I don't remember if you remember that from yesterday.
I didn't remember. No, I didn't remember what it was.
Okay. That's fine. He's a tiefling.
Yeah.
That's why I suddenly thought I should crack back to that very quickly.
Now, man to man, I like you. I think we're friends.
Hmm.
And these two people, I think they're trying to swindle you. It's
Oh,
not
dear.
a cursed item.
It's not a cursed item.
No. It's his punishment. He has to wear it.
I see.
It's singled him out as a criminal.
Can I do a check to see if I hear any of this?
Mhm.
You're standing at the other end of the room. Torek, are you whispering or are you speaking openly?
Well, I wouldn't speak like loudly. Just
Okay, you're whispering. Minstrel
enough.
will say, with your passive perception, no.
But yeah, I wouldn't burst it out loud.
I'd like to know how you understood the
Although
half.
Rambler, you'd be able to hear it.
I didn't understand the halfling. I'm ignoring that bit. That's not what I'm going on.
He just wants to force Minstrel to remain cursed by the sounds of it.
Oh, right, okay. All right, I'd like...
Rambler,
As
you
I'm-
can decant it back to
as I'm
Minstrel.
talking to Minstrel, I'm like, hold up a second.
Although,
I can...
sorry, Torek, if I need you to make a persuasion roll for me. And no, deception, sorry, not persuasion.
Yeah. I mean, it's the
Because
same
you are
role.
lying.
It's
Yeah.
the same role for me, yeah.
It's the same roll, but you're lying.
We should probably wait for Chris to get back. Well, there he is. And I say to Minstrel... I say to Minstrel,
I lost connection.
Sorry.
Alright.
yes, I'm just about to say something to you.
Okay, Rambler, go ahead.
Hold on a second. I can hear them scheming over there. Can't you hear him? He's saying that you're trying to trick him.
I mean, you can roll for it unless your passive perception is high enough. I don't know. I don't know what the...
I was going to say, with the nat 20, he seems to vehemently believe you.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So, Minstrel.
And I'm going to
Please.
promptly leave the shop.
Okay, you just gone.
Grip him on his way out.
Yes.
Do I not need to roll for that?
If he's
I'll
going to
stop.
let you grab
Yeah.
his arm, go
I'll
for
stop. Yeah.
I trip.
Sorry?
Trip. I put my foot
Oh,
in.
trip! My apologies. I thought you
Oh,
said
yeah.
grip.
I thought you said grip. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, sorry. No. For that, we'll say... I'm interested in what this one would be. Rambler, why do you keep pasting that?
I'm glad you're blaming me and not Ozzy, because he's innocent of everything.
Fair enough. Yeah, let's see. I'll say that's sleight of hand check
What to trip him?
against Torek's passive perception.
Mine passive's 13. So
So you got to
It's
beat
not a high
13
roll,
with this
but-
minstrel.
to be high then.
20. Yep, he trips and you fall on your face.
Okay,
You take 1 damage.
that's fine.
Were you just saying to the shopkeep? Dragonborn?
No idea what you're talking.
Come on now, there's no use lying.
I was
heard you
inquiring
good-
after potions, but I've decided against buying any.
I heard you snitching.
How?
I don't know. This voice in my head told me that I heard you, and I guess I've got really good
Yeah,
ears. So.
you obviously
Oh,
didn't,
lovely.
because I
Your
wasn't.
passive perception's higher than. Oh,
Yes, my passive perception. I heard you passively. I perceived you.
What exactly did you say to him?
Don't know what you mean.
He's
I'm
gaslighted you.
gonna pull out my elf dagger and hold it to his throat.
in the store? Are you
I mean,
sure? I'm
think-
saying, I'll give him a chance to retcon this. Are you sure?
Now you've said that, I'm worried about where you're going to lead it. So,
You just get thrown
I was
out
gonna
the
say,
shop.
threatening violence in a shop thing that would A, get you kicked out, B, get the guards called.
Do you mean guards or do you mean?
I mean guards, proper guards this time.
We'd have to roll for intimidation, I think, in that sense, because I'm not going to just accept it. But
I
I'd like
will
to
leave that
say,
choice up to you, Minstrel.
looking a bit nervous at the tension in the air, I'd say, "Come now, gentlemen. There's no need to come to blows over this. Everything's out in the open now. I should explain to you, good Sir Alchemist, that this young dragonborn here is a bit of a rogue. He's a bit sneaky, and he has been telling fibs to you. Mind, we're not trying to do anything underhand towards you. I am, after all, lawful good.
Make a persuasion check. You're going to have to get a nat 20 to counter his, yeah.
Oh, so
You've got a 5% chance for him to believe you.
doesn't even matter my thingamabob. So
If you can get higher than a total 28, go for it.
okay, how's that?
2. Not so much.
It's not a 2, it's a 3 plus 1.
Fuck it. You know what? I'm going to cast...
Sleep. Cast sleep.
I don't know how that'd help.
I'm going to cast shit because I got rid of the spell.
I really
Did you
want
get rid of suggestion?
Right?
Did you get rid of suggestion?
I've got a suggestion. Yeah, I'm going to cast suggestion, and I'm going to suggest to the alchemist that he should ignore any remarks from Torek. He is a known criminal.
Oh, actually, I'm not a known criminal.
Yeah, that's what
You
you
are.
said.
So it's a lie. So that's
He's not a gnome
Good.
criminal, he's a dragonborn criminal.
That's
I'm the
okay.
closest to a
Okay.
gnome, and I'm a half.
Wisdom saving throw. Your DC is 15, I believe.
14.
14.
15.
It doesn't make it. So, as the magic takes hold onto his eyes, he's going to say, yes, I see. Very well.
I say in halfling, now, all I wanted to do was trick the man. I'm not sure about using magics on him. He could get hurt.
Don't worry, Rambo. I use this all the time on you.
Oh, right. Well, I suppose I'm in good health, so I suppose it's not too bad then.
Plus, what harm can it do to him? It's only undoing the damage to my reputation caused by this dragonborn fellow.
Is he still here then, the dragonborn fellow? Or has he left?
He's
still laying on the floor.
still laying on the floor, I suppose, technically.
I would
didn't
like to help him up with the aid of Tabatu Sasula.
Okay.
And I will say to the guy, look at this. I told you it was weird. It knocked me down for no reason.
Torek, why are
I'm
you?
gonna say
Why are
he
you
didn't see
being
that.
like this?
Oh, even if he did see it,
That's it.
he's been
Yeah,
suggested.
he's been told not to believe you for the next 8 hours, I believe that spell goes for.
Right. Well,
Frighten him.
perhaps it's best if you wait outside, Mr. Dragon Fellow.
No, I'll stay here.
Right, you are then. You stay here. I hope you don't interfere with our dealings.
Not anymore today.
Fair enough.
Right. Oh, okay. Right. I
I'd like to go back to the conversation of how much it will cost to get this mask decursed.
Looking at how far we'd have to be able to submerge your head, possibly 1,200 gold.
Can I perhaps persuade you down to 1,000?
Hang on, just going to roll something. Make a persuasion roll, but it's not looking good.
Perhaps we can pay you in our services. We are, after all, great adventurers. Do you have any
Sorry,
problems?
Minister, are you making a persuasion roll?
Anything needing to be bugged
Yeah,
on the noggin?
Okay. He's going to look at your party and say, well, unless you can bring me some dragon-based components, like the last group who requested a special favor, or unless you could perhaps bring me some... I don't know, what do I need to craft at the moment?
I'm going to interrupt him and say, well, how about components from a Naga?
You believe you can collect components from a Naga?
I certainly
Suddenly questioning your intelligence, gentlemen.
We've already defeated one Naga. We're actually
Yeah.
going to go and defeat the same one again.
I see, you've defeated... Well, this is common, but you realize Nagas turn to ash when they die.
Yes, but this one we're not going to kill. We've been ordered to capture it. And might I remind you that we are the party that captured a rock giant in Dwarfholm.
I
So
see.
we're good at it. So why
You're
don't you
going
take
to-
the mask off him now, so as we can capture this Naga, and then we'll bring him back to you unconscious, and you can cut away at his flesh without killing him.
You realise that the pieces that come off would also turn to ash.
Well, that's your problem. Once we got him to you alive, I'm sure
There's no way to use a Naga's components for making alchemical reagents unless the Naga willingly gives them to you.
Well, you got a spell, haven't you? Do you want a live Naga or not?
The day someone brings a live Naga into a town is the day we all die, my friends. They are not kind creatures.
All right, then a dragon. We'll get you a dragon.
You'll get me a dragon. Very well. When you bring me a dragon, I shall happily remove the mask for free.
Yeah, well, like I already said, we can't do anything when he's got that mask stuck to his face. It prevents all his combat abilities.
I also have some giant riding lizard eggs. Would one of these offset the cost at all?
Offset the cost with me? No. How many do you have? You could probably cover the entire cost if you found Monas Horn out by the carriages. He'd be willing to buy them for a fair sum each.
Well, that doesn't interest me. Thank you for your time.
I see. Very well. No, the components for that would not be useful for my potions. Unless you could... Sorry, indigestion getting me again. 1 second. Oh! Unless you had anything particularly rare or unusual. I would not be willing to do it on credit for you.
I just walk out of the shop.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Oh.
So my persuasion to argue him down to 1,000 failed, didn't it?
He'd probably knock 50 gold off the price.
And he rolled a 10.
Fuck it. I will pay the 1,500 or whatever it was.
1,150.
Oh, I thought you said 1.5.
No, he said 1.2 after he'd looked at how far the mask went onto your face.
Okay, I give him 1,200.
I could have got you that for 50.
Fair. So after you pay him 1,200, he takes you out to the back room and begins pouring an unusual list of ingredients into a bowl.
Did they come from his person?
Sorry?
Do they come from inside him, the ingredients?
No, he has them on shelves.
Oh.
The most interesting of which you've seen is a bottle marked Dragon's Blood. As he pours them into the bowl, the basin, it begins glowing faintly and then vividly, back and forth between red and green, as the blood and venoms he's mixed in begin working. As he now walks up behind you, grabs the back of your head and says, "Oh yes, don't breathe in while I do this," and dunks your face into the water.
Can I breathe in before he dunks my face in?
Make a reaction check. Roll a flat d20 to see if you had time.
No, don't.
9. No, you didn't have time. You went in mouth partially open.
But while he's getting dunked, I want to rest my elbow on him.
You're not in the room, unfortunately. He's the only one taking out the back.
Oh, I'm going to sneak in.
Okay, make a stealth check if you want to sneak in.
I'm going to try. I just want to do more sneaking.
Okay, go for it.
He's doing a sneak.
I forgot what my sneak was. Sick. Right.
9. Unfortunately, he shut you out with the door, realizing you were trying to follow him in. He's protecting his trade secrets.
Am I in?
I bubble out of the water. I think he's up to it again.
And as you come out of the water, you notice the mask has lost the black tone and has now matched your skin color. However, it does make it look like you're kind of a porcelain doll of yourself now.
I'm an elf. I look like that anyway.
You're a moon elf half, so not really.
Oh no!
You
never told me he was a moon elf.
Anyway, so moving onward, he's going to say, "There we are. You didn't get any in your mouth, did you?"
I spit a mouthful out.
Oh dear. He's going to take a small vial and say, "Drink this quickly. It tastes like ass, but it'll stop you dying."
Oh, that's such a coincidence. I love the taste of ass. And I swing it.
Fair enough. As you can now feel the poison leave the entire inside of your mouth.
All up inside of his mouth.
Very good. You should be fine now. Please do consider me should you want anything else decursed. It is a costly venture, but as you can see, my methods are exemplary. And they maintain the original enchantment, unlike many, many failed alchemists.
Right, you are. Well, thank you ever so much for your help. I say, savouring being able to be nice again.
It's a bit too OP now, though. There's no point to languages anymore.
Well, it'll at least cost him a fair chunk. And wait for it. Anyway, as you now return to your party in the main room of the store, they can now obviously see there's no black mask on your face anymore. But your skin is perfectly smooth.
Well done.
Just like being 18 again.
Well done, sir. Now I believe we've got a village to liberate. Let's go and find this wizard. What was his name again? Where was he again? I can't remember.
You never found out, you didn't ask.
Yes. No.
Right, to the wizard. And we go to the wizard.
Okay, you're going to the Adventurers Guild to ask if you want to do that.
Yeah, back to the Adventurers Guild.
Okay, so back in the Adventurers Guild, I assume you're going to hand over the quest for the join the rebellion?
First, I want to apologise profusely whilst red in my face to the day clerk.
Fair enough.
Can
Stephanie sits behind the desk. Just say, "I see. I apologise. I'm sorry for saying I hoped you were dead." As she looks you dead in the eyes. My brother would have been very disappointed.
It's okay. For the last year or more, I have been suffering a terrible curse that makes me awfully rude. And I must say, it's good to be free again.
Oh, yeah! Anyway, sorry, what was that, Torek?
Oh, no deception check. Okay.
I'll make the deception check, but Torek was saying something. I just want to see what he's saying first.
Can he go red in the face?
No, he can't.
Oh, right. I was going to say, yeah. If it's...
Let's go back. Back to before.
Well, no, he can go red in the face, but under the mask, so no one's going to see it.
That was just an RP thing for me.
Yeah. We should go back. We'll go
anyway,
back.
So make your deception check, Minstrel.
Let's go back.
Give me 30 seconds.
No worries. What? Oh, all right, Rambler. Well, she's going to at least give the appearance of believing you, and then once again make her reference to her brother being very disappointed.
It's awfully rude of you to keep bringing up your brother, but I will let it pass. Thank you for your time. I take my leave.
Very well. As you can, was this whilst you were handing in the quest?
Yeah, I don't have the quest, so I'm not handing in anything.
No.
Torek, I believe you've got the note for the quest. Why don't you go and hand it to the that thing over there behind the desk?
The day clerk.
What, for the
day clerk, whatever kind of evil monstrosity.
As I'm walking past, I just want to put my hand on Rambler and say, "You're a good friend," and then have a visible shudder at how good it feels to be nice.
You've only had it on for the morning.
I'm going to nod at him and then use Druidcraft to make a wisp of smoke and the smell of a skunk come out of his ass.
Okay. So, as this happens, your Torek's going to hand in the quest for the Join the Resistance.
Silver Keep one, yeah.
Do you guys want the description again? Because there's something in it you do need. Or do you remember it?
Remember it, yeah. It said,
it's on the thing somewhere.
Remember the code phrase, the sands are charging, and you should respond.
Changing?
But the cock.
Cockatrice.
Atrice, yet the cock, Atrice, are still about.
Fair enough.
I
Okay.
think that's how you have to say it as well. You have to stop after cock.
That's entirely up to your discretion.
Cockatrice.
Yes, that's the line I want to make sure you still knew, because otherwise, if you didn't have that one, scrolling back to the text would really annoy me.
I have it copied. Yeah.
Fair enough. So with that, they're going to begin arranging us. And will you be needing transportation? We do have a new service
Yeah,
available.
we'll use your wizard friend for that. Yeah, he's not going to charge us, is he?
There'll be a deduction from your final fees, but it'll be fine.
Fuck.
Now then, please follow me upstairs, as she begins leading you to the upstairs, a place you haven't been in the Adventurers Guild so far.
Oh, we're going to the upstairs minstrel. This is a place I haven't been in the Adventurers Guild so far.
Not been in any of it before.
As you're shown up to the much grander hallways at the upper floor, there's a large room in the centre which has been specially set up for this wizard. She's going to say, now then, he'll be sending you directly to the outskirts of Silverkeep. I would caution you against speaking with him too long.
Right.
As she opens the door for you.
All right. Yeah, is he in there?
He's currently sat behind the desk. You can only see the top of his head as he's furiously drawing or writing something. It's hard to tell.
Minstrel's still a bit concerned about talking, so he's going to be a little bit quiet while I have a wee.
Okay.
I'm going to march up to the seated man, and I'm going to say, "Greetings, Sir Magistician."
He is going to stand up on his chair. As it turns out, he is also a halfling.
Oh,
And he's currently stood on the chair and say, hello, 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 as he immediately grabs your hand and begins shaking you. How can I help you today?
Well, what kind of halfling are you?
He's a stout halfling.
Why are you talking about yourself in the third person? That's a bit strange.
Sorry, this is something you'd recognise by sight, because they're structured differently.
Greetings, stout fellow. Got any of those amazing stout halfling pies that I've heard so much about?
I fear you may have us mixed up. Stout halflings are famous for our ale, my friend. Good ale. Do you need sending to where I come from? They do far marvellous ales there. I shall send you immediately, as he begins casting a spell.
Oh no, we actually we're on a mission. I'd love to go and sample some ale, but we've got a quest to go to Silver Sledge Keep.
Silver Sledge Keep? I've not heard of it. Where is this?
Silverkeep.
Silverkeep.
Yep. Oh, thank you, Torrik. Yep, Silver Keep. That's right.
Over to the desert region. Very well. And are you all prepared for your quest?
No. Jarek said that we could take from you a supply of halfling ale to keep us sustained for our quest.
I don't drink myself, unfortunately. I don't keep it here either. When I do drink, it's only when I go home for celebrations.
I see. He also said that we should ask you if you've got any magical items that you may be...
No, I'm not using, as he shows you what he was drawing with, and he has a large piece of what appears to be rainbow-coloured chalk.
Ah, yes, I think you mentioned the rainbow-coloured chalk. He said you wouldn't mind lending us a piece.
Oh, if I can't break it, it would stop the magic. This is what I use to make my teleportation circle.
I see. Right. Well,
and you are heading to Silverkeep. I'm going to quickly give you an out-of-character one. Did you want to talk to Jarek about possibly accepting the other quest?
No.
No?
Okay. Accepted it.
No. You all walked off before he saying you were going to do the quest.
I thought we were taking that as given that we were going to do that because you said it wasn't on the board.
It's not on the board. You'd have to talk to Jarek about accepting it, is what I said at the time. Because it was specially arranged for you.
Oh, I thought we'd already done that. Oh, okay.
We'll say you've done it for ease of purpose. But
I would do it anyway. So
yeah, fair enough. Okay, so we'll say you've gone through and done that just to save a bit of time. I see. Well then, if you're all ready, I shall be sending you to just on the outskirts of Silverkeep. I do not need people being worried. Now then.
Yes, well, we could be a little bit out, maybe half a mile out of Silverkeep, so we don't surprise any guards or anything like that.
Maybe by the river.
No problem.
Maybe by the river, so we can do a spot of fishing. Make some of that
look at
famous halfling ale.
How far the river is out from Silverkeep. The river is about 12 miles from Silverkeep if you want to be there.
I mean, I don't mind.
No, just find us a nice copse about half a mile out of Silverkeep, and we can take it from there. Thank you very much, sir.
No problem. About half a mile from the main gate. No problem. No problem. Now then. There is something I should warn you about this unfortunate system with teleportation magic. It only affects you really because of the large size disparity between your group. Your heads will all appear at the same height, regardless of what that height is.
Right, I see. Well, okay.
So
Guess
be
I got a
prepared
bit
to...
of a bump on my ass to look forward to then.
Oh, you better get ready to possibly dig me out of the ground.
Yes, that is the slight issue with that. Anyway, I shall be... If you would all step inside the circle, I shall begin the incantation for Silverkeep.
I do a backflip into the circle.
Mr. Wizard, sir, could you possibly give me a countdown to when we're about to go? And I would like one of you two to help me jump up in the air so our friend doesn't get dug into the ground.
I mean, it's a novel idea. You have no idea exactly how you're going to land. Anyway.
I'm quite happy for Torek to be dug into the ground.
But you could get dug into the ground too if it goes by my head.
Yeah, is it? We'd all be.
Your heads will all be at the same level.
Now,
so you need to be a foot or two off the floor, and
no,
Rambler would be.
I'm not talking to Craig. I'm not talking to Craig. I'm talking to a character.
Oh, sure.
So you say all our heads will be at the same level. You must have done this teleportation trick before with people of varying heights. Is there a pattern as to whose level it matches?
It tends to be fairly random, unfortunately. As many times as I've sent people, they've always warned me that... I mean, I don't normally like to admit this, but I'd seem to... No, there isn't, Rambler. They did tend to say it's almost completely random. It's why I prefer to send people to places I've already got the other end set up where I can control this part.
Oh, could you not send us one at a time?
I could send you one at a time, but there'll be a small variation in your distances.
How small?
Better to be safe than sorry. I
think
that's
more a mile.
I think, I mean, a mile in good terrain is within eyesight, so I would be happy with that. What say you, Rambler?
Well, we'll be in the desert, so my knowledge of desert lands is not as good as my other stuff. Having said that, it is still very good, and I happen to know that in the desert are sand dunes, so unless we all happen to be on top of a sand dune, we mightn't have a cat's chance in Rowstop of finding each other.
I just want to pick up Rambler, so he's my height.
That's a reasonable logic.
Oh, ow! Oh.
How tall is Torek?
Now we can try. 7'3".
You don't have to pick me up by the asshole, you know.
Oh well, that doesn't matter for me at all because I'll be at most dropping a foot.
Yeah, I was really confused as to why you were sort of going against this.
Right.
He's not going to be like 20 foot tall.
Right. I'd like to say to Tabatu Sasula, right now, young Tabatu Sasula.
I want to pick him up.
You're going to try and pick up the wolf.
Yeah.
You could hold his paws, like you could stand him up, I suppose.
Yeah, I will stand him up on his hind legs.
About at full length. He's actually slightly taller than you.
You keep trying to grab his paws, but he thinks you're playing a game and just keeps trying to lick your face as you're doing it.
I feed him a salted fish.
Oh, okay.
And I say to him, you can have another salted fish if you stand up and dance with me, little wolf.
Salted fish? He says in a curious voice and takes... Well, no, he can't understand you. But I guess he lets you grab his paws. Sausages fish.
I'm going to say to describe how this looks. Minstrel has currently placed this piece of salted fish on his head, so Bartu is currently trying to get it off as the casting begins. Sound fair?
Okay. Sounds right to me.
Yeah. So as the casting begins, the small halfling is going to begin walking quickly around your group, saying, Silverkeep, 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 Silverkeep. touching the chalk to the edge of the circle already drawn.
Sausages.
As he completes a complete circle, you are all immediately teleported to. You can see Silverkeep in the distance, and you suddenly get a face full of sand as it blows into your face because you weren't expecting for the local weather to be windy.
I got transportation sickness, so I immediately vomited on Torek.
Oh, thank God you didn't vomit on Tabatu
Well, I'm
Sasula.
holding Rambler, so
So you're going to use him as a shield.
try and put him in the way. I guess.
Okay. I'm
Right.
going to say the vomit is not going to be an attack roll, so I'll say it's a 50-50 chance of catching him with that. So, sleight of hand check, 50-50.
It won't be 50-50 if it's a sleight of hand. Shall I just roll a flat D20?
No, for Torek. I'm going to say the vomiting isn't an attack roll, because otherwise that's weird. So you're going to try and vomit towards him, and he's got a 50-50 chance of getting Rambler in the way. 3. It misses completely as you put him behind Minstrel's back as he starts vomiting.
I would like to laugh at Torek and say, "Oh, not to worry. This used to happen to me a lot back when I was training Ettins in the Elven Forest. I'll just get my dog to lick that off for you. Tabatu Sasula."
I'm going to hold Rambler out at arm's length in front of my head and let go.
Okay. He falls about 4 feet, to be fair.
Ow.
Make a acrobatics check for me.
Can I try and catch him?
Sure, make a athletics check for me.
How much does Rambler weigh? I don't think I've
I'm
ever.
About
pretty sure
60 pounds.
me doing the
Oh.
acrobatics check is better.
If he's going to try and catch you.
Surely him trying to catch me would be the help action, so I get advantage.
£60. Isn't that
Sure.
right?
Yeah,
we'll say you get
yeah,
advantage
but-
on the- yeah, advantage on
Making
the-
advantage.
Okay.
I mean, £60 is quite heavy.
No, I get advantage, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you get advantage.
Yeah.
£60. I actually don't know how much
like
I weigh.
4
with all my
stone.
gear.
Yeah, no, but he's 3 foot tall, so
4 stone dropped from 7 feet.
11 and 19. All right, the 19, you're going to manage to land very calmly on Minstrel's hands as he's jumped out to save you.
Yeah, Tabatu Sasula is attempting to lick the sick off Torek's face.
Boring.
Mate, I was sick of his. I projectile vomited up. I thought I was just like sick of his shirt.
Yeah, I did.
Right, not face them, whatever.
Fair enough. Check.
Meanwhile, I would like to take the magic tent out of Tabatu Sasula's thing and set it up and say, why don't we get inside this tent while the sandstorm's happening?
That sounds like a good idea to me. Maybe I could make a tiny hut.
Well, you certainly could, sir. You wouldn't have had to have needed to use this tent if you weren't busy puking on people.
I'm sorry. I had a lot of wine at breakfast.
A lot of breakfast wine.
I
Okay.
think we should just carry on.
Alice, get me a drink.
So do we have a tiny hut now?
Are you casting Tiny Hut Minstrel, or are you just going to set the tent up?
Yeah, I'll cast tiny hut. I assume it's gonna be several hours. We're waiting.
There'll be a few hours for the sandstorm to pass, unless you want to try and walk through
I
it.
would like to spend one uninterrupted minute in concentration, as if I were concentrating on a spell, to sense whether there are any robots or monsters around.
You do
5
not sense any constructs within 5 miles, but there are a number of monstrosities. Oh, wait, I need-
Any in the city? I don't care about any others. Any between us and the city, or any in the city?
There's one that would be probably on your route to the city, but the rest are generally a bit more spread out.
I've sensed one monster between us and the city. So keep your wits about you, friends.
Well, having not witnessed a sandstorm before, I want to see it more, so I'm just going to go walk.
To be fair, you can see through Tiny Hut if you want to stay in it.
Does it sound like that
No, I'm
song?
gonna walk.
Seeing as we've got a tiny hut, I'm going to put the tent back in Tabatu Sasula's pack.
Fair enough.
Is this a long rest, by the way?
This will be a long rest if you needed to take one.
Now, while we're waiting here, would anyone mind casting me a nice spell into?
No, I've gone for a walk. I'm not there. I've carried
you're
on going. Yeah.
Okay, you want to carry on towards Silver Keep?
Well,
Yeah.
before I have a long rest, maybe. You know what? I will. What would happen if I cast polymorph into the necklace?
I get one use of it, right?
Into the necklace, yeah. Rambler will be able to cast it out once.
I'm going to give him... Oh, no, I'm not going to give him Polymorph. I'm going to give him a cast of Conjure Animals.
Oh, God, why? Okay.
I've always wanted to cast this spell. Thank you very much, sir. And I put the glowing...
Is that a third level
necklace.
spell, out of interest?
Yes.
That is... Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it's filled up the entire necklace. No problem, as this time as the necklace glows faintly green as you cast the spell into it.
Did I have to cast that at a particular combat rating, or can I just say, here's a spell, essentially?
No, you'd be casting it at a combat rating, so you can select now.
Okay, what were the ratings? It was...
Quarter
If I
through
could,
to 2.
If I could have any input here, I think maybe just one big fellow to back up old Batu here.
I put a 2 in there then.
Sure thing. Okay, so you've got one cast of it at combat rating 2.
I don't know what that means.
But essentially, you'll summon
Was that
a
challenge rating?
CR2, challenge rating 2 monster,
Right.
or
okay.
beast, technically. So,
Yes.
Torek, you went wandering out in the desert. I'm going to need a survival check from you
Uh-huh.
to see if you can find your way to Silverkeep. 12.
Rambler, are you okay, sir?
Sorry, I didn't hear that, Minstrel. Sorry. One more time. The
I was
sneezing.
doing a sneeze.
Rambler, are you okay? You
Corona.
seem to be sneezing.
Yeah, so with that sand got in my nose, I'll be all right. If you just give me a sip of that booze you've got there in your backpack.
Oh, I'm surprised you've remembered that. And as I pass him the bottle of the finest wine.
Fair enough. Finest dwarven wine. Also, so Torek, with 12, you've managed to get yourself slightly lost in the desert as the sandstorm begins to clear 2 hours later.
I'm
You're
going to
about the same distance away from Silverkeep you were before, but you've just managed to completely miss it as you were trying to get through.
I would like
And
to
I'll go head
track
straight
him.
to it again. Yeah.
Can I track him? Can I try and track him, please?
Sure, you can try and track him. Make your survival check with advantage.
I could be trying to stealth my way through the desert.
While tracking other creatures. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you get advantage, I'm pretty sure.
You're very pretty. Survival. Oh, I'm good at survival. You see, I am a good ranger. I just don't know much about flanimals. 1d20 plus 7.
7.
Yeah, it's a wisdom thing.
I'm trying to stealth through the desert.
21.
You try to stealth through the desert. Unfortunately, you're still going to leave marks in the sand.
By the way, I just want it known that as he has left Tiny Hut, I've restricted it to just me and Rambler.
That's fine.
I've left the hut now. I'm trying to track.
Okay.
I'm laying him out alone.
Well,
crying.
I wasn't going to go back to the hut anyway.
I'd like to shout back to the hut. Minstrel, I found his tracks. I know you don't really like him, but we probably need him. He does have that weird spell where he can explode about 7 people at once. He may well be useful if we're going to fight this Sultan.
With that, Rambler, unfortunately, due to the sandstorm, you're not going to be able to find Torek in the sandstorm.
Oh.
If he's trying to stealth.
21?
He's trying to stealth, apparently.
Because I'm alone, so...
I don't think that makes a
Stealthing.
difference.
If you're trying to track him, it would do. If he's trying to hide.
So I can't get lost except by magical means. That doesn't count then.
Yeah, it's not quite the same. So, Torek, you've now found your way to the edge of Silverkeep. I'm going to give you a quick description. The other 2 of you will have to remember this as you get there. You've seen the same thing for the first time. As you look up to the city, you see the general unfortunate slums set around the edge of the city in the large walls. The large white walls have golden top palisades. Think Agrabah, if it's a good reference for you.
Acrobats. There's lots of acrobats.
From Aladdin?
Yes.
Oh, I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, so you've got the palace at the centre, followed by decreasing areas of lack of wealth.
Is it
before
like
you get to the
Jerusalem when it
walls.
was occupied by the Hospitaller Knights?
I don't know exactly what that was.
Jerusalem during the Crusades.
Oh yeah, similar idea. So big spires, big domed shaped structures at the top of tall towers, which act as cooling systems, apparently. Large amounts of wealth. However, you do notice there's a general dark air around the town as you enter. There's scary-looking guards with their faces covered by wrapped almost like wrapped turbans, which go over the face, who are going to ask you to stop as you come to the entrance to the town.
Hello.
And who would you be?
I'm Torek the Black. I'm with the Adventurers Guild.
I see.
And I will show
Well,
my badge.
The Adventurers Guild. Well, the Sultan will have no need of your services. You're welcome to stop the night before you head to wherever you're heading.
Thank you.
Do try not to cause trouble, remembering the theft for crimes is the loss of a limb in this city.
Trouble? Me? Don't know what you're talking about. I'm a
Yeah.
very upstanding citizen.
As you make eye contact with you directly, you're going to see almost a flame flicker in his eyes. He says, "Do be along then, and behave."
Very well. Goodbye, friend.
As he goes back to take his position.
And I will now skip jauntily through the streets.
Okay. To try and make him think you're friendly, or
Just because it's funny. Fun.
He's trying to- he's coming on to it.
Yeah.
For RP reasons, not to try and convince anyone
Not
of it.
really, not of anything particular, just to do it.
He's
Yeah.
coming on to him.
Fair enough.
He wants to sex him.
Okay, so you're in the city. What are the other two of you doing?
What was
well,
the thing who I spoke to? Sorry, what race was he? I forgot that bit.
You couldn't exactly make it out, but you could see almost like fire burning in his eyes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right, I would like to say to Minstrel,
Wait,
Well-
hold on, Rambler, you're back.
He can't get lost, so he can make his way back to the hut.
Okay.
I don't think
Rambler, where were you, my friends?
Well, I'm guessing I didn't get that far. I
Uh,
couldn't track him.
good point. The sandstorm would have blown away any footprints in the
Right,
sand.
so what I'm going to say is, well, I could see a few of his footprints going off in that direction, I say, pointing, but the sandstorm seems to have blown away most of them. I tried to track him, but even a master as myself couldn't track him. We'll just have to assume that you made it safely to Silverkeep and go there ourselves.
I don't quite understand why he would walk off on his own like that. We don't know the political climate here. It could be very, very dangerous. But yeah, I mean, it is my moral obligation, and I might get some coin out of it if we go and find him. So
Well, I suggest we follow the road, and I'll see if I can pick up his tracks along the way. If not, we'll ask for him in Silverkeep.
I stand up, pat my legs, and say, "We best be off then," as I dispel Tiny Hut.
Right, I would like to mount Tabatu Sasula.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to. Oh no, I'm not. No, waste of a spell. I was going to summon a horse.
Fair enough. Okay, as you begin heading towards Silverkeep, you're once again greeted by the sight I described earlier. As
How do we know which way it was?
You could see it from where you were.
Also, because I'm Rambler.
Okay.
You could physically see it. You're only about half a mile away.
So I mean, it says I can't get lost ever except by magical means. So
Yeah, in theory, once you know where a place is, you can find it again. You can still get lost somewhere you haven't been before, obviously, but you could find your way back out of it.
if you say
Craig?
so. It doesn't say
Yes.
that. But
I don't mean to nitpick,
Sure.
But-
Chris.
but
You wouldn't
Rambler,
technically
Rambler failed to track him, obviously knowing where he was going.
But you
If
can
we
see
if we can see it and we know where we're going,
from
I'm a
21.
bit confused.
yeah, but
He was
didn't-
trying to
he
hide
didn't-
himself. What happened
he
was he
didn't-
couldn't find his trail, and he'd wandered around almost to the far side as he
Yeah, I
spent
went-
2
I
hours
went the wrong-
wandering in the desert.
also,
So
he-
he was trying to find him, not
Not
follow him,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
example.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm satisfied with that. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Good. Oh, well, we're
You see,
also
I do have a
glad
mug
to
now
find-
that says because I'm the DM, and that's why. So if anyone ever has any other questions, I'm getting the mug.
You are a mug.
Hey. Anyway, so once again, you'll be greeted by the guards at the gate. And who would you be? Again.
Greetings, sir. My name is Rambler. I am chef extraordinaire. I'm sure you've heard of me from the Chef's Guild in Rager.
Rajor, up
and I
north.
would like
Yes,
to
I've
show him
heard
my.
of the place.
I would like to show him my chef's letter.
Hmm.
And I would
Very
like to
well. Come with us, as the two guards are basically going to flank either side of you.
Oh well.
What about me?
Oh, are you his attendant?
Yes, he's my soup chef.
I see. Very well. You shall be working at the palace from now on. Then come along.
I'm feeling a little hurt by that, but I will accept it.
As you are now being walked by the guards directly towards the palace at the centre of town.
Well, I have to say, I'm not used to being handled like this. I do not approve of it.
We're not too bothered by what you approve of, only what the Sultan will care about.
Yes, well, if the Sultan wants me to cook good food for him, he's going to have to treat me well, not like one of your slaves.
Well, I'm sure after a few weeks chained in the dungeon, you'll change your mind.
Unhand me. And,
I am going to cast suggestion.
Okay, I need to check something. Bear with me.
Oh, God, here we go.
There's a bear with you? God, I was going to use Tabati Sasula to rescue me. If there's a bear.
Character. Sorry, one moment.
You're going to tell me you're immune, aren't you?
I'm not. It might be advantage against the save, is why I'm checking. Yep, okay, go ahead.
I'm going to suggest to one of them that the other has slept with his wife, and we want no part of their quarrel, and we can make our own way to the Sultan's Keep.
Okay, so I need to roll against a 14, correct?
You keep changing that number, and I don't quite understand.
Well, you said 14 last time.
Oh no, it is 14.
I remembered the number from last time, is why I changed it.
It is, you confused me, because last time you said 16. It was, no, it's 15. Oh, no, it's 14.
Yeah, no, it's 14. I remembered it from last time you checked your spell save DC.
It's 15 though, isn't it? Because his proficiency went up.
Proficiency plus his charisma plus 8. What does that work out as for you? 3 plus 3 plus 8, 14, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your charisma modifier, you've only... Okay.
My charisma's shit, because I put my points in fucking dexterity, because I'm crap at D&D.
My charisma's good.
Fair enough. So with that, one of the guards is going to lunge at the other, as he then begins shooting fire out of one of his hands.
Well, best get out of this situation.
Yeah, I'm going to jump onto Tabatu Sasula, and I'm going to follow Minstrel wherever he's running off to.
Okay. You run out into the... you're about halfway toward the palace, so you're in the middle class sort of area of the town.
All right, what's the shortest guard I've seen?
Hold up, we're going to cut back to Torek now, who was skipping up the other entrance.
Yeah, I'm just going to wander around the poorer looking places.
Fair enough. So whilst I've been doing that, you are going to be approached by a young Earth Ganassi who has strangely stone-based hair. It looks almost as if it could be made of flint.
Oh.
He's going to talk to you and say, the sands are changing.
Oh, yes. I did remember this. But the cockatrice are still about.
I see we have a friend. Please, follow us. As two more quickly flank out from behind a wall.
I'll follow, looking confident, chest puffed out, like I'm not scared.
They lead you through some of the back streets to a... Who keeps messaging? I've got to turn the sound off on that.
Yeah, Ozzy, can you not send messages while we're playing D&D? It's quite annoying.
I'm going to send you
anyway,
messages.
So they show you to a small... It looks like it was formerly a tavern, but has been closed down. Once inside, you are greeted by a number of individuals, all of whom seem to also have their faces covered.
In shit.
Toric. No, again, by similar veil dressings.
Hello, friends. Where
I
are we?
see. So you are here to join our cause, as the leader is going to, or you assume the leader is going to stand up and walk towards you.
I've heard some things about what might be going on,
Hmm.
and you've requested some help.
Yes. The Sultan has become unusual in recent days. He's created an almost form of caste system this past year. This was not too bad, but it was once it became... all his guards have become the Fire Ganassi only, as for some reason he has some form of control over them we do not understand. The Earth Ganassi have been pushed out to the slums. The Air Ganassi have been left to do their merchanty things up further. And as the only Water Ganassi in the town, the Sultan stays in the palace constantly. He used to frequently visit outward.
That is suspicious.
We were worried. We've been considering our uprising's options. Please, if you would sit and speak with us. Were you the only one who came?
No, I have two other compatriots. There's a half-elf and a halfling
He's going to
wandering about the city.
quickly double-click his fingers, which if I move my fingers closer, there we go. You'll be able to hear. And
Yeah.
send two youngish Earth Ganassi running out into the streets to find them. So we'll cut back to Minstrel and Rambler before we come back to Toric to continue the discussion as the Earth Ganassi find them.
I'm just going to say, I think, Rambler, before we do anything else, we need to find that bloody Dragonborn. Can you perhaps... Are there any tracks you can follow, or do I need to ask around?
Unfortunately, Unfortunately, sir, we are not in the countryside. We're in the city. This is my domain. There's many footprints around there. I wouldn't be able to track him at all.
Whereabouts would you be standing, assuming you've walked off from the Mercantile area?
On the ground.
Well, yes, but I mean, would you be having this conversation in the middle of the road, on a side street?
I assume we're hiding in an alley somewhere because we've just dashed.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Then the Earth Ganassi are going to run directly up to you before saying, the sands are changing.
And I would
Are
I would like to turn to them and say, but the cock! Atrice is still about. And now I've said that, you interrupted the conversation we were just in the middle of, Mr.
I was going to say, the two young boys are unusual looking as a pair. One appears to have almost what appears to be flowing sand running down the back of his head, whilst the other has sharp rock growing over his eyebrows.
You look like you're in pain, sir. What's your name?
Oh, I'm Shale, and this is Sand.
Hi, Shale and Sand. Have you seen a weird-looking Dragonborn about? Bit of a character.
Yes, we were sent to find you. Please, if you could follow us back. Although you didn't know the code word, sir.
Yeah, well...
My assistant. Yeah, I'm a chef. I'm Rambler, chef extraordinaire. He's my soup chef.
I see. We were hoping
I shudder at that mention.
He's a simple thrall of mine. You don't need to worry about whether or not he thinks.
Can he fight?
I look at them and I go, yes, thrall. Do as master bids.
I see. Well, please follow us back to our location.
Tabatu Sasula has gone right up to Shale's face,
Okay.
literally 1 millimeter away from his nose, and he looks him in the eyes and says, "Sausages."
By the way, 30 seconds. I'm just putting on the hotspot so I can have a cigarette.
Sure. Okay, so we'll say you're just following Rambler for the time being. If you're happy with that, which you're going to be because you're gone. So Rambler, which as the wolf's gone directly up close to him, Shell's going to back away quickly. He's probably only the equivalent of just before being a teenager.
Oh, sorry about that, young toad fellow. There, he is very keen on sausages. So, do you have many sausages in this town?
We do not, sir. Our food is very carefully rationed to make sure we don't misbehave.
I see. Well, this sultan of yours sounds like a bit of a cunt. Perhaps we should go and speak to your leader about killing him.
Please, if you would. As he begins leading you through the back streets to get to the same tavern that Torek is currently going to be sitting inside, so we'll have you come in after about a minute of conversation here or so as we go back to Torek.
But I'd like... Oh, okay.
Sorry. So, Torek, you're now sat down with the group's leader. He is going to be looking over a map of the city, which I will post to you briefly. So I didn't suspect you'd be taking this quest. I have not prepared the map ahead of time. It will be quickly knocked up on paint after the session because I don't think we'll get to needing it too much here. So, as he pours over the map of the city, he shows you the palace in the centre, the mercantile district surrounding it, and then the large region of the slums. You see, the problem is, since the Sultan is the one who creates the water around here, and it's too far to frequently go to the river, we have some issues arising. We need to keep him alive, but we need to bring him under our control.
Do you plan to do this?
Well, our first thought was to kidnap him and brainwash him somehow. However, sneaking into the palace could be difficult. We were hoping your party, should you be particularly adept at this, were able to help. If not, we have a few other plans.
Sorry, Ozzy, I didn't see your messages of having a wee.
Yeah, Matt's doing his bit at the moment.
Okay. Yes, we have a few other plans available, should you feel you're not up to a stealthy mission.
I mean, we are fairly stealthy fellows, actually. So that might be worth taking a look at, that plan.
We shall consider that. The other option is to unfortunately use your party as a decoy in the mercantile district. Should you be able to simply hold the guards for long enough while our allies storm the palace, we could take control of it and bring the Sultan under our control.
When you say hold the guards, is that by any means necessary?
Of course. They seem to be under his control almost instinctively, as if he's controlling both their minds and their bodies. At which point, Minstrel and Rambler, now you'll be joining back to the party.
I put Rambler on my shoulders, provided he's willing,
I am willing.
and I kick the door open and go, lo and behold, Minstrel and Rambler are here, mightiest warriors this side of Elysium.
Elysium?
Torek's going to put his face in his hand as he's sitting
I
down.
would like to raise my hands in the air and do a magical display with Druidcraft.
Sure, what would you like it to be?
Well, puffs of wind and sounds of animals.
Okay. So
And I'll also cast the detect the weather spell as well.
detect
which is
weather?
like, yeah, basically it's an orb appears in front of me and it shows what the weather's going to be like. Can't remember what the time is, but it shows it in the orb. So if it's going to snow in a few hours, it'll snow in the orb.
Okay, so in the orb it is currently sunny. It's the desert.
I'm just doing it to impress the mundanes.
Fair enough.
I can conjure 8 chickens.
You could. Are you going to?
Yeah.
No, maybe I won't.
Oh,
Okay.
Come on.
As they all look at you, considering these are Earth Ganassi, who are an innately magical race, the mild tricks you're showing off don't seem to impress them that much.
I, while keeping Rambler on my shoulders, do a backflip.
Can't he do a performance though? Isn't that what we're doing now?
I'm going to consider that part of the performance, but I'll need acrobatics checks from both from you, Minstrel, and a dexterity check from you, Rambler, to see if he stays on.
I think you'll find dexterity is my forte.
Good.
That and finding sausages for Rambler. Oh, having said that, is there any food in this place? Oh, 10.
10. Okay, so you do manage to hold on just. but unfortunately he fluffs the backflip and lands on his ass.
Right. So
now
How-
roll your performance to see how that went down.
Well,
I'm
a
taking-
laugh out of it.
can I just out of character a second while
Sure.
he's rolling that? Is there any way I could teach Tabatu Sasula to dance?
I mean, if you take some time whenever you take a long rest, I could do some rolls for it for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try over a long period to teach him how to hop on his hind legs and clap his paws.
Okay. So with that minstrel, you're going to get a general. I see. Your allies were a fool and a half man.
I would like to say and to reassure you that these couple of jesters, may look a bit dim, but they'll get the job done.
This one's wearing a bit thin as I dress myself up in sultan clothes
I would like
Why?
to use
because they said I'm a fool. I thought it might go down well.
Sure.
I'd like to whip something. Is there an empty jug or anything in the room?
I mean,
Great.
there's the map on the table. There's a few mugs on the bar.
Craig,
Yeah,
is
I'm gonna
there a
whip-
check I would need to do for that, or will that just go as is?
I'm
I'm
gonna
trying to
let that
play
go
my
as
foolish
is.
behaviour off as being the sultan.
I see. I see what you mean. So you're making an attack roll with the whip to hit a jug. Yep, you're going to hit it.
Is he going to
Roll
break
for
it?
damage.
I don't want to.
They're very
You don't really need to. A mug would have 1 hit point.
It's like a minimum of 10. My
So
my
you
damage.
smash straight through the mug with the whip as it catches a light and burns nothing because it was empty.
Rambler looks slightly surprised about that, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't quite mean for that to be as catastrophic as it was." Rambler's the name anyway, and this is my master / companion / soup chef minstrel.
Okay, at which point Minstrel will have another performance check since you've suddenly changed your clothes into the Sultan. $25. You'll get a small chuckle out the leader sitting at the table. However, he's going to say, do change your clothes back quickly. We don't need to draw attention to ourselves. And please stop smashing jugs.
This one's wearing a bit thin as I change to civilian clothes, but my t-shirt's almost like a novelty one, which says Jug Lives Matter.
Okay.
And I'm going to shout at them both in Elvish to sit the fuck down.
Fair enough.
Speak Elvish? I can't remember.
Two
I think you
Oh
both.
yes,
do.
I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 2 chairs are now brought over to the table to sit us next to Torek. Are you going to take them and sit down
Yep,
for the statue?
I sit down at a chair and
There
I
is
say,
no unattended food, unfortunately.
I also sit down and lean in and go, Torek, where the fuck did you go?
I was completing our task, making headway. I was finding these people before you. Lazing about in your
It's very nice of you to use some initiative, but please be careful. I don't want yet another death on my conscience, even if I don't like you.
Yeti, another death.
I mean conscience, not conscious.
Close enough. So the leader sitting across the other side of the table from you is going to lean forward into the light now, as you can now more clearly see his hair appears to be perfectly carved out of clay. Intriguingly, as he leans forward, he says, "Yes, we were just discussing our plans. There was he'll recount the stealth plan for you since you've already actually heard me say it. And there is he'll recount the distraction plan for holding the marketplace long enough to get all the guards out towards you before running away.
Guards out? I thought we were going to sneak in there and get him.
Hey, Rambler.
He's outlining a few different plans.
Rambler,
Yes, my dear.
where do clay chickens come from?
Do they come from sand eggs?
No, a chicken's clay acre.
Oh, that was appalling.
Take 1d8. Inspiration die.
I'm going to say, if you've used your other inspiration dice,
Yes, I have.
Take a D2.
So I get a D8. Did you just give me bardic inspiration?
Oh, there's a point. I would like to bardic inspire both members of the party.
Okay, so you can both take your D8 inspiration dice.
And while we're sitting here having this conversation, I'm going to have a short rest.
By both members of the party, do you mean Tabatu Sasula and Rambler?
Yes.
And
I don't
doesn't
need
the
it.
short rest last 10 minutes?
It's like an hour sitting around relaxing, but you're going to be sat in the
How
bar,
long
so
does the inspiration last?
10 minutes.
Forever. Does it?
No, my inspiration lasts forever. Yours lasts 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Enjoy your inspiration while it lasts.
All right,
So
I
for
would
the
like
next
to
10
use
minutes,
this.
you can use it.
I would like to use this inspiration to do a insight check on the leader to see if he really knows what he's doing, if he feels confident in his job, and
Okay.
if he loves his wife.
Roll your insight check. He loves his wife. We're not going to do that one. You don't know if he's married.
I'd like to do an insight check to see if he's married.
Okay, you burning your inspiration dice on that?
Oh,
I mean,
you don't understand the effort it takes for me to roll. I have to get up and move over to the computer.
natural
No,
one. You've got no
I'm
idea.
a
He is an
How
enigma.
can
He
you
is
not
a
remember
ghost.
How
Got the
can you
dice.
not remember I'm a
Oh,
half?
yeah, halfling. Natural 20. Okay. Oh, dear. Okay, so with natural 20, you establish he's probably not married.
Is it because he's a bit of a dick?
In fact, you establish he's not married. There we go. We'll go with that.
What I wanted was to check if he's going to try and backstab us and which plan he personally thinks is the best.
Ask
Based
him.
on tone of voice and a few other things, he'd prefer to do the stealth plan. However, if your party's not suited for it, he's perfectly happy to try the other plans.
Yes, I could tell from looking at you, sir, that you are a stealthy type and you would prefer to go the stealthy route. I must say that I am also. I have my friend Tabatu Sasula here, who was graced with the gift of black fur. His eyes do glow red a little bit, but
Nothing to
can
worry about.
Yep, nothing to worry about. I've got this spell that can make him very stealthy and me and everyone.
And not to mention, I can cast invisibility, and if I do it at the right level, it can affect more than just one person.
All
say-
very helpful.
I say stealth it is. We will, however, need some equipment to help us.
Yes, we shall be setting up or procuring climbing spikes for the assault, if you are all happy.
Assault.
And, well, you'll be climbing in and assaulting the palace, as it were.
I see. Is there not another way we could get in? Perhaps talk our way in?
If you believe you can talk your way past those bastards of guards.
They are
Well-
under the Sultan's control, so I wouldn't bet on it.
I mean, suggestion worked on them.
Suggestion worked on one of them. Although
I can
the
cast it at a higher level now because I've got level 4 spell slots.
I would like to.
suggestion
say
can't be cast at a higher level. It has no mechanics for it.
We don't need mechanics. There's no
Oh,
cars.
yeah.
in this world.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's mass suggestion.
Right.
Yeah,
So our
different stuff.
options are an all-out fight, sneak in. I assume you'll be coming with us, will you?
I shall be sending our top agent as a guide.
Can I
Right.
just ask, why do you hate the Sultan so much? You mentioned he had changed. What?
We shall mention, go back through again what he said he's done. So in the last year, he's installed the caste system, basically forcing Earth Ganassi to serfdom and being rationed food, no water, or very little at least.
Okay. Have you considered maybe your Sultan has been cursed? I have recently suffered from a curse that turned me into a bit of a dick.
Well, we haven't seen him. He no longer leaves the palace. But if he's been cursed, it's been over a year and no one else has managed to do anything about it.
I see. I mean, it is just something worth remembering. I mean, I'm sure my friend Rambler here would like to avoid coming to blows, if at all possible.
Well, our initial plan would probably be the wisest then. If you could sneak the Sultan out of the palace to us, so we could at least have control over him for a brief while. If he is cursed, we may be able to resolve it then.
I'm not liking this use of the word control. That sounds very much like exactly what the Sultan's doing to you. Have you considered the hypocrisy of what you're suggesting?
Well,
how can anyone be sure that we're not getting rid of one dictator to put another in place?
simple, because we will not be a dictator. We will need him to create water for us, but as he's the only water ganassi in the entire area of Silverkeep, and this is our primary supply, is how he keeps his position.
Ask you a question, sir. Why did your people build a city so far away from water?
To be honest, we found the city many hundreds of years ago.
Oh, I see. You stole it, is what you're saying.
No, it was quite abandoned. We've rebuilt it since then. It's well defensible, and for some reason the Bluelet's out in the desert.
Have you considered maybe it wasn't abandoned? Maybe the residents here live on another astral plane, and they're simply not perceivable to common eyesight.
Even
then they won't mind.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they can't see us and we've rebuilt their city for them, why would they care?
I think that's racist.
I'm very much in favour of helping you, because I would very much like to overthrow this tyrant.
Of course, any spoils you should be able to collect from the palace would be yours.
Of course,
we have a
naturally
map set out, and we shall be dealing with all of this at that time.
I want to whisper in Rambler's ear. How do you feel about this, Rambler?
How do I feel about Rambler? Well, I think he's probably the most handsome halfling I've ever met. Oh, you mean how do I feel about this Rambler?
Punctuation, important.
I think we should probably go along with him, because I ate that bastard. He tried to have me escorted up to his dungeons just for being the greatest chef in the world. I would, however, like to see the kitchens in this palace and possibly take everything. Challenge their head chef to a cook-off.
Well, then you'd be seen, so I wouldn't do that.
I nod at Rambler.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to call the session here. Because,
why would you call it here?
To be honest, I'm getting quite tired and I did not prep for this quest very well.
No, I meant, why would you call it... Why would you name it here?
Ha. I need to do a little bit of prep before we carry on to this one. So we shall be ending the session here. I shall run up what little experience there is for that one.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
Oh.
Okay. What's leaving?